Hello, this is Jessica. I'm a teen librarian with the Durham County Library. It's that time of year again when summer romances are out and creepy books are in. I'm going to talk to you today about 8 horrific young adult novels that will be sure to give you chills. The Girl from the Well by Rin Chapeco. A dead girl walks the streets hunting murderers, child killers, like the man who threw her body down a well 300 years ago. When a strange boy, bearing even stranger tattoos, moves into the dead girl's neighborhood, so does something else. Soon, both will be drawn into the world of eerie doll rituals and dark Shinto exorcisms that will take them from American suburbia to the remote valleys and shrines of Aomori, Japan. The boy has a terrifying secret, one that would just kill to get out. Based on Okiku, one of Japan's most famous vengeful spirits and the star of horror movies such as The Grudge and The Ring, The Girl from the Well is a creep fest you might not want to read when you're home alone at night. Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. Ever since Margot was born, it's just been her and her mother. No answers to Margot's questions about what came before, no history to hold on to, no relative to speak of. Just the two of them, stuck in their rundown apartment, struggling to get along. But that's not enough for Margot. She wants a family. She wants a past. And she just found the key she needs to get it. A photograph, pointing her to a town called Faline, pointing her home. Only, when Margot gets there, it's not what she bargained for. Margot's mother left for a reason, but was it to hide her past? Or was it to protect Margot from what's still there? The only thing Margot knows for sure is there's poison in their family tree, and their roots are dug so deeply into Faline that now that she's there, she might never escape. This twisty new thriller from the author of Wilder Girls is wild, strange, and eerie. Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. Who are the Sawkill Girls? Marion, the new girl. Awkward and plain, steady and dependable, weighed down by tragedy and hungry for love she's sure she'll never find. Zoe, the pariah, luckless and lonely, hurting but hiding it, aching with grief and dreaming of vanished girls. Maybe she's broken, or maybe everyone else is. Val, the queen bee, gorgeous and privileged, ruthless and regal, words like silk and eyes like knives, a heart made of secrets and a mouth full of lies. Their stories come together on the island of Sawkill Rock, where gleaming horses graze in rolling pastures and cold waves crash against black cliffs, where kids whisper the legend of an insidious monster at parties and around campfires, where girls have been disappearing for decades, stolen away by a ravenous evil no one has dared to fight, until now. Sawkill Girls is simultaneously dark, whimsical, and terrifying, a fantasy horror novel about the strength of women. The Missing Season by Gillian French. Whenever another kid goes missing in October, the kids in the old factory town of Pender know what is really behind it. A monster out in the marshes that they call the Mumbler. When Clara moves to Pender, a depressed New England town, she strikes up a friendship with Bree and Sage, who take her under their wing. Kincaid, who Clara and Bree have crushes on, says he's seen the Mumbler, but Clara is skeptical. But as Halloween gets closer and tensions build in the town, it's hard to shake the feeling that there really is something dark and dangerous in Pender, lurking in the shadows, waiting to bring the stories to life. The Missing Season is a tense, atmospheric novel about friendship, truth, and the creeping fears that can't be outrun. House of Furies by Madeline Rue. After escaping a harsh school where punishment was the lesson of the day, 17-year-old Louisa Ditton is thrilled to find employment as a maid at a boarding house. But soon after her arrival at Cold Thistle House, Louisa begins to realize that the house's mysterious owner, Mr. Morningside, is providing much more than lodging for his guests. Far from a place of rest, the house is a place of judgment, and Mr. Morningside and his unusual staff are meant to execute their own justice on those who are past being saved. Louisa begins to fear for a young man named Lee, who is not like the other guests. He is charismatic and kind, and Louisa knows that it may be up to her to save him from an untimely judgment. But in this house of distortion and lies, how can Louisa be sure whom to trust? Last Things by Jacqueline West. High school senior Anders Thorson is unusually gifted. His band, Last Things, is legendary in their Minnesota hometown. With guitar skills that would amaze even if he weren't only 18, Anders is the focus of head-turning admiration. And Taya Malcolm, a newcomer to the insular town, is one of his admirers. Taya seems to turn up everywhere Anders goes. Gigs at the local coffee house, guitar lessons, even in the woods near Anders' home. When strange things start happening to Anders, including the disappearance of his beloved cat, then his sort of girlfriend, and, somehow, his musical talent, blame immediately falls on Taya. But is she trying to hurt him or save him? Can he trust a girl who doesn't seem to know the difference between dreams and reality? And how much are they both willing to compromise to get what they want? Delightfully twisted and creepy, this is the perfect book for Halloween time. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. A mysterious island, an abandoned orphanage, a strange collection of very curious photographs. It all waits to be discovered in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, an unforgettable novel that mixes fiction and photography in a thrilling reading experience. As our story opens, a horrific family tragedy sets 16-year-old Jacob journeying to a remote island off the coast of Wales, where he discovers the crumbling ruins of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. As Jacob explores its abandoned bedrooms and hallways, it becomes clear that the children were more than just peculiar. They may have been dangerous. They may have been quarantined on a deserted island for good reason. And somehow, impossible though it seems, they may still be alive. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children is a spine-tingling fantasy illustrated with haunting vintage photography. If you've seen the movie, but you haven't read the book, I highly recommend it. Dreaming Darkly by Caitlin Kittredge. Ivy Bloodgood's mother is dead, and she should probably be sad about it, but she isn't. Myra Bloodgood was a confusing mix of protective and abusive, a manipulative personality who never told the truth about where she came from, who Ivy's father was, or why they were living their lives on the run. Now that Ivy has been sent to Darkhaven, an island off the coast of New England, to live with a rich uncle she didn't know existed, she is forced to reckon with her mother's past. Ivy can tell right away that there are long-held family secrets buried within these walls, but when she wakes up from one of her nightmares covered in someone else's blood, Ivy fears that whatever demons her mother battled while she was alive have come to roost in her own mind. Scared that she can no longer trust what she sees, Ivy seeks the help of a boy who thinks her episodes are connected to the sordid history of Darkhaven. But what they don't know might kill them both. Dreaming Darkly is a moody and twisty gothic mystery with an impossible romance. For more information or to reserve a book, visit www.durhamcountylibrary.org. This video was brought to you by the Durham County Library.